backwards. Then we submit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, if you're comfortable with it.
I'm comfortable with it. Ow. Ah, my foot's falling asleep.
So do you play Hearthstone?
Yeah, why?
Oh, I was just asking.
Did you see something on my screen or something? Or yeah, yes, I play Hearthstone.
You have a spy in the stream.
Oh, that's good, honey. No, I'm not. She's not reading stuff to me. But you won't, because I would get upset. Well, I mean, yeah, but it'd be like if you like cheated on something where you're trying to learn, and like that's the point. Like, it would be really dumb. You shouldn't cheat on. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, it'd be like I'm gonna cheat my way to a programming job, like our friend did.
All right. So, this is the next challenge.
Okay. Okay. Sorry.
This is the next challenge, right?
Okay. Okay. Using JavaScript language, have the function letter changes string to take the string parameter being passed and modify it using the following algorithm. Replace every letter in the string with the letter following it in the alphabet, i.e. C becomes D, Z becomes A, then capitalize every vowel in this new string, A, E, I, O, U, and finally return this modified string. Okay. String to upper. Right?
Is there a string to upper in JavaScript, or are you relying on C?
I don't know. Maybe. We'll find out from the MDN. There's two. Okay. Wait. Letter changes. Take the string parameter being passed, modify it using the following algorithm. Place every letter in the string. Okay, so the first thing we should do is do like an ASCII transform plus 1. We can do that, right?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Yeah, so wait. I've just dealt with Unicode plus 1. I don't know if that works. That would be plus 2 actually. It would be like A, B. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. Start typing code, and I'll see where your thought process is.
Okay. So take the string dot. I don't know how to transform ASCII. Okay. Big blink. Code cat contains ends with fixed. Replace, right? Yeah. Can you do mathematical operations on? Okay. Regular expression, substring, new substring. We should split it into an array and then deal with each character separately, or is there something that already traverses the array for you?
There are methods that traverse the array.
Okay. Uppercase. No. Replace every letter in the string with a letter following an alphabet. String. Character. Wait. Okay, so we can convert the whole thing into an array, and then do from char code, traversing the array, and then plus 2 on each one. No, that's bad. That's not the best way to do this. Okay, thinking. it's weird because like I'm used to like just programming everything out myself, not using the available functions. So, okay.
I'm a big fan of the available functions. So
Yeah. No, I mean, just definitely use them. Don't reinvent the wheel.
yeah,
Okay.
the less code you write yourself, the less bugs you introduce into the program.
Split. Why am I doing that? Oh, this is a horrible way to do this. What am I doing? Okay. Got this.
All right. So so you can split it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so what's your
So,
plan?
okay. If we convert it to a series of arrays, or not a series of arrays, an array, character array, we can operate on each character separately.
That's it's a good plan.
Okay. And then we take so there's like tiers to the way this works. Like you can do all the one operation first and then do the next operation, or you can do it let's see here. Actually that doesn't really make sense. We should just check to make sure it's a if it's a val, then we capitalize it. So we do like switch. Wait, no. I love me some switches. Okay. String dot split. Okay. Okay. Array. How do I convert this to an array in the last one? What was it?
All right. Can I give you a hint?
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
There is an array method called map.
Called what?
Map.
M-A-T?
M-A-P. Map.
Oh. Okay. Oh yeah. I think I overloaded that on one of my projects or something like that. Okay. Map. I see it.
Array map.
This is global objects map.
Yeah. Go to the array.
Yeah, yeah. Array. Map. Create a new array with the results of calling a provided function on every element in this array. Oh, okay. So it does the traversal for you. Wait. Results of calling a provided function. Okay. So map calls a provided callback function once for each element in an array in order and constructs a new array from the results. Oh. For indexes, the array which has been assigned values not invoked. For indexes that are undefined, invoke with 3 arguments found in the index. Doesn't that just create an array of the same thing?
No. You see?
Oh.
Did
Alright.
did you see here? Right there. Right?
Okay.
See? It's taking a provided function and transforming the array.
Okay.
So,
Oh, okay. So
and you can define the function.
all back.
Do you want me to get you started?
Wait. I think I got it. So I do like string dot map.
It only works on arrays, so you have to split your string first.
Oh. But then you said I can chain, so I do.
And then remember, split takes a parameter.
Yeah. trying to use Mac hotkeys. I use a Mac at work and then Windows at home because I'm poor. So
now remember, map is gonna return you a new array, so you're gonna have to assign the value back.
yeah, I'm working on it. Okay. End. So I need to call a function.
Yes,
Do I have to do that?
Yeah, you have to provide a callback function to map. Otherwise, it won't do anything.
Okay. So function that produces an element of the new array. Oh. Wait. Current value. Index. The array map. Hold on. Wait, I don't understand what I'm supposed to plug into here though.
Okay, go back and I'll give you a hint. All right.
Okay.
So if we go like this.
Yeah.
Okay. Now just write out your function like you would normally. So.
Oh, okay. So.
You're gonna need a parenthesis at the end of that, after your semicolon or after your brace, after your curly brace, because you're providing the function as an argument too.
Okay. Query style. Okay. Yeah.
Well, it's JavaScript style.
Well, yeah. jQuery like always looks like that. Okay. Why are people freaking out about the Switch?
I don't know.
I love Switch. Switching cases. Okay. So.
I don't see anyone freaking out about the Switch.
Oh, somebody on the freeCodeCamp chat. Whoa.
Oh, yeah, don't worry about that. You focus on the challenges. I'll,
Distracting. Okay. Okay. So we've got the logic set up, so we'll get the new thing. It will. Then we take. Okay, so it's been split into an array. We input function letter, or well, wait. The function, it's an anonymous function, right?
Yeah, this is an anonymous function inside of it.
Yeah. Letter dot. Okay.
So what are you thinking?
So I'm thinking we need to be able to perform mathematical operation on like the ASCII character.
Okay, so then what are you gonna do to it?
Add 2.
You're gonna add 2?
Well, wait, no. Does it go? I forget. Does it go like 1 through 26 is lowercase, and then 27 through whatever is uppercase? I think that's how it is. Yeah.
No, it's like 65 through whatever is uppercase, and 97 through whatever is lowercase.
Okay. Yeah, but that means you just have to do a +1. I mean, it's arbitrary what the value is until you get to Z, and then you put in a special case.
Yep.
And sign it backward. But Z is the only one where you have to do a special case. The logic should hold up for everything else.
Yep.
Okay, so we need to use something that lets me. Do I need to convert it into ASCII? Can I do that, or does it just work anyway? Like on C++, character arrays let you do mathematical operations on them, but I don't know in JavaScript.
Well, in JavaScript, everything is an object. So you aren't breaking them down. I mean, each one is still going to be a string, even though it's a string of length 1.
Okay. So I can't do like letter +1.
You can try.
Okay. Oh goodness. Okay.
So it returned letter +1. It appended 1 to the end of letter and returned to you a new string.
Yeah. Okay. So I have to actually take letter.
Yeah.
and then do a function on it.
So you can do, well, you're probably gonna need to do more than that.
Well, yeah, I'm not just gonna return it.
So go back. Let's look at the standard built-in objects, and let's look at strings again.
String. You know what? I'm just gonna open up this in another tab because, honey, you can't play Hearthstone alone. I don't know. I guess you can.
Okay, so let's take a look at string.
String. Okay.
All right. So see these do methods up here? Okay, so what's this one?
From character code. Return to string created by using a specified sequence of Unicode values. 65, 66, 67. Okay. So we should get the Unicode value.
Yeah, and that's
which we get from a different one.
CareCode at.
CareCode at, yeah. Okay, I've used this. So then, can we chain it? So we do like, no, letter dot char code at. Wait, I'm not capitalizing. Code at.
And then at takes an index.
Index, which the index is going to be. Has something to do with map.
The index is going to be 0.
Oh, yeah, because it's an array with
of length 1.
Yeah, length 1, which is index location 0. Yeah, got that. Okay, so then we go dot from. Letter 2.
Why are you returning a new letter? Why are you making a new one in that? Part of the promise in map is that it's going to return a new array, right?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, so then you don't need to make a new one.
Okay. Dot. Well, how do I get the return from this then?
Well, you can
It's going to return this.
Can you just return that? Or can you do letter equals and then your operation and then return the letter? Since the anonymous function is running in map, which is going to return you a new array.
Wait. Okay. No, so I want to get. Okay, I'm doing from character code or character code at, and then from character code returns a string created by using specified sequence of Unicode values. So I need to be able to do from character code of what the return was plus 2 or plus 1.
Right.
Okay. So how can I perform that mathematical operation on it if, like, where am I going to put the math? I can't just do like this. Like.
Well, what if you did return a string from charcode letter.charcode at 0 plus 1?
Oh, it's return the ASCII values.
So what's the string.from charcode? Where does that method go?
From charcode?
Yeah, here, I'll show you real quick.
Okay.
Okay.
It's. Oh, yeah, put the function inside of it. Okay. I'm not so good at the nesting of functions.
And what do you get there?
Then we get B, S, V, N. But if we have the letter Z, it's not so good. Okay. So. Wait. I always want to use if statements for stuff like this. Do you think an if statement is a good idea?
Yeah, you could do, I mean, an if statement seems to be, don't use a switch. Don't use a switch.
Use a 2-line switch with one case and a default that it cascades into.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So you know regex, right?
Yes.
Okay. So there is a way to test against regex objects for values. So that would be my recommendation in your if statement.
Okay. So if letter equals, because it needs to be.
You should always use triple equal, by the way. Don't use double equal. So double equal does it does type conversion for you, whereas triple equal won't. And I personally would rather be explicit about my type conversion.
Wait, can I use pipes? That's not or, is it?
That's an or. Yeah.
Okay. I don't need 3 pipes though.
No.
Oh, this is bad though. I'm doing Z or capital Z.
Sure.
Okay. Or letter equals Z. And then else. Is else okay in JavaScript?
Yeah, else is fine in JavaScript. So what's going on? What's going on with your if statement? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Got it. Okay, and then
And
but then we got return Z or Z. Yeah.
well,
It's supposed to be uppercase anyway, so it's always going to return uppercase A.
Good.
A. Yeah. Let's not. Now, is it better to use quotation marks or this? Like those quotation marks help when you're trying to fully escape, right? Like
it all depends. It depends on what you have set in your linter.
Okay. So syntax error, unexpected token else.
So that typically means the structure of your code is wrong?
That's because of this, yeah.
No,
that's not because of that. Yeah, this isn't closing. Oh. There. Capital A, it's always capital. Why are there spaces next to it, though?
Because it's just returning a single element array. It's giving you room. It's returning it as an array.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So it's got spaces in between. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, so we got this, and then oh, wait, that's not good.
So somehow we need to make sure that we're only iterating over letters.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Need. Yeah. If you got a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Like, oh, we'll just make a giant case. Okay. No, I know that's bad. Let's not do that.
No, switches are not bad. Switches have their place. However, their place is not in here.
No, yeah, I know.
So, okay, let's go ahead and go back to the MDN, and I want you to look at the regex object.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a standard built-in object.
Yeah, you just do A to Z. Now, like this.
Yeah.
A to Z, A to Z.
You don't need
that.
to. You don't even need to do that. There's a regex flag you can provide to it to ignore case, right?
Yes. I don't remember what that is though.
It's I.
Uh, oh, okay. Uh, so, so instead of this,
Well, I mean, you can shorten that into a regex if it bugs you, but more pressing right now is
okay,
making the program function correctly. So I would make sure that you're only iterating over letters.
okay. So like if
And if you go to the regex object, you'll see that there is a very simple method for testing.
okay,
It's oftentimes a lot easier just to go to the standard built-in types that link,
okay,
and then scroll down to what you want.
like that.
Yep.
Okay. Reg expression pattern. Okay. So. Oh, okay.
And
Good.
then look at the test method.
Or change. Ah, dang it.
It's up on the left, right? All your methods are right here.
Okay.
Methods and properties. So check out test.
Ah. Okay. Search for a match between a regular expression and a specified string returns true or false.
Perfect for use in conditional.
But I don't have a regular expression object. I have an array.
You can make a regular expression object and then test the element of the array that you're on.
Yes. And I would do that
By looking further down in the documentation.
if var midstream.
Or I'll show you. Just go back. I'll actually show you how the easy way to make a regular expression object on the
Wait,
fly for
it
use.
says I can use a string.
Well, that's the test. That's the object you're testing the regular expression against.
Okay. Go back.
No. To Cutterbright.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So if you wanted to test, right, then you can just make a regular expression object like this.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I was gonna do. Okay. Test.
And then provide it your argument.
Which is gonna be letter.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, so if it is a letter, it's going to match that.
And then else.
Do you need an else? Can you
no.
shorten it down?
No, you don't need an else. You can just have it return letter because it'll never hit right there otherwise, right?
Right.
Okay. So, wait, do I need this else still?
Yeah.
Z.
Yeah. That's checking to make sure it's not on. It's not going to be a Z.
Yeah.
So and then,
Oh, cool.
so here's another one. Highlight all this code between your open function and the ending brace for it.
Wait. One of my curly braces is not.
Yeah, that's highlight it all.
Okay.
Hit Control or copy it. All right, and we're gonna open a new tab.
Okay.
All right, JS hint. This will save you a lot of time on some of these challenges just from like you're getting syntax errors and stuff like that. So you can click over here and highlight the whole thing.
Okay.
And then paste your code in. All right.
Okay.
and it has these warnings, and if you mouse over the warning, it will highlight the line where the warning is.
Okay. Okay.
So
normally
it's
I'm
telling
using
you,
Sublime Text, which kind of does this.
yep,
Also, but yeah, the plugins. Expected end instead saw curly brace. What?
at 15.
Okay.
So it's telling you essentially that you're missing a curly brace.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's
Well, let's take a look.
okay.
All right. So it expected a parentheses to match, right? So, okay. Well, here we go. Line 3. You're missing a parenthesis.
Oh. Yeah.
And all of a sudden everything went away.
Yeah. Okay.
So JSint is a great tool.
Yeah, that's cool. Sublime. Yeah, like I said, Sublime kind of does the same thing. So I'm a little out of my element right now. But
Yeah, any good text editor will. You can set up Vim to do the same thing.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay. So place it. Ah. Okay. So regular expression. You don't have to like put it in any quotations or anything?
Nope.
Huh. Okay. I/I. Oh yeah, because you're escaping the characters anyway, right?
What do you mean?
Well, that's what the backslash is. You're telling it that.
That's how you declare a regex object.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
That's a forward slash. Yeah, the backslash escapes the special characters, so you can use them to test against in a pattern.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. All the regex I've been doing has been mostly like Notepad++.
So it mostly works, right? There's a few things that you need to do to clean it up still.
Yeah, and we don't have it converting to upper.
Yeah.
With uppercase letters.
So.
See. So. We need. We should check. Wait, no, we can't do that. We can put all this inside of a function inside of that, and then check to see. Wait, it already is a function. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's already a function. So turning in a new string.
That's okay. So
then before we return, so we can just have the functionality in the function, but not inside of this function, because there's two functions, right? So
yeah.
we just check after it's been returned. We just run a regex that checks to see if it's a val, and then just changes it to uppercase.
You could do that,
Okay.
but then you're gonna have to iterate over the whole thing again, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which
we're already iterating because on the map.
Yeah, you're already iterating. So is there somewhere in here that you can perform that calculation?
Well, there's lots of returns all over the place, so it would have to be at the beginning.
Or in your else, where you're assigning everything except for the uppercase A, you could assign that to a temporary variable and then compare that or check to see if it's a val. If it is, return it uppercased.
Okay.
Again, the test is going to be your standard go-to. and then to uppercase something on a string, there is a method called toUppercase.
Okay. Oh, okay. If
Forward slashes.
we don't need to worry about the A because that's always getting returned properly anyway, right? There's no cases that it would. But I don't know. Like normally I would still put something like that in.
Right. No, don't separate them by commas.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Plural regular expressions. A, E, I, O, U. And we're only worried about the lowercase ones because otherwise it just gets returned anyway as an uppercase. Another slash. And then
dot. If A, E, I, O, U, what?
Dot.
No.
Test.
Put it inside your brace for if.
Sorry.
There you go. And then go ahead and go into your block. Yep. And you can just say
letter dot. Wait, string to upper? Is there a string to upper? You said there was something like that.
No, it's toUppercase.
To upper. Okay, to uppercase. Yeah.
Yep.
Just the functions are like a little bit different names. It's weird because like I know some things, but they're like not applicable at all, and so.
And then, okay, so you're doing this to letter, all right? But letter is unchanged unless it's an A, because you're assigning the value back. You're assigning that new string to temp1.
Yeah. Sorry. I should test temp1.
And then I would just put temp1 equals temp1 dot toUppercase.
Wait, what?
Instead of returning here, because you're going to have to return this, right? If it's not, so you would put a what? Or return temp1 down here? Underneath of it?
Yeah.
Right. So instead of having two returns, you could just
have it.
It's fine either way. It's just you're typing out the same thing twice.
Oh.
No, no.
Sorry, this is getting me confused. That it's like I'm used to like the formatting automatically like popping things over and stuff. Else temp1.
Wait.
I assign this to a variable, and then if.
Yeah, so you're correct so far.
Test temp1, return temp1 to uppercase. It's not working.
Okay.
Sorry.
Why is it not working? Because you're not returning it if it's not a vowel.
Yeah. Okay. What? Oh.
No, run your code.
Yeah. L. F.
There you go. You got it.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So now you need to join it. Down here, return new string dot join.
Join.
The empty string. All right, and then run your code. All right, and then make sure that it works with that one. All right.
Okay. Cool.
Now, is there a way you could clean this up?
Yes.
Okay, I mean, aside from formatting.
Oh. JS Prettify.
So,
Let's see.
what if you just returned up here? All right, what if you just returned string.split and then you put .join at the end of here and just change the methods?
Oh. Like that?
Yeah, you don't even need to make a new string.
Yeah.
And then put .join right there.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It'll never hit the end of the code without returning something. Yeah. I get it. This is fun times. Oh, it says Gavuju. Awesome.
So,
Yeah, this looks bad.
well, yeah, you could have done the same thing, a regex test here for A or A, or for
Yeah.
for little z, big Z, and then there's different ways to go about it. I've seen people check, and if it's not a letter, they just immediately return that letter.
Yeah.
And if it is a letter, then they go through and do their stuff.
Oh, so you would check if. Wait, I don't know.
You
how to
would,
do that. Something
yeah.
like that.
Well, you would just add not to in front of the regex.
Is that not?
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
have a working
we should do
solution,
that
so
because I already worked it
yeah.
out. Yeah. Yeah, that would make more sense because then it does the comparison and returns right away. But okay.
So just different methods.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think I need to go to bed.
Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah. I had a busy day.
No
How the
worries.
function load changes? Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
But, yeah.
that's one you just did, and you can compare your code when you do a when you get a solution. I'm gonna tell you right now, most of them are trash. Uh, so, and there's one dude who's notorious. Like he tries to, yeah, that dude right there. Click on his. I want to see if he did the same thing for this. Oh, okay, he didn't. He didn't minify his code before he submitted it.
Oh, he minifies it.
Yeah.
Wait,
Except
he's using,
Except he doesn't
he's
doesn't properly minify it. He actually just removes all the spaces and smashes it all together. Whereas minification would actually like shorten the variable names and stuff too. So it's
okay,
yeah,
A, B, C, yeah.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Yeah,
So
he's just got like a bunch of nested if statements and else. Like, this is
yeah, and he's using the for
like you
loop.
said, don't use the for loop. Yeah, see, that's how. I mean, that's honestly probably the approach I would have taken if you hadn't, uh, suggested using the built-in functions. Like, I just really want to like do it myself. Like, but yeah, it's hard to like sort of give over to let the JavaScript do it. There's very smart people somewhere that have written these libraries and and the prototype functions that you can use. Like that's the point, so you don't have to worry about it and cause bugs. So, where you're doing like string traversal through an array, and then you'll end up with like you try to, if you miss a number in your for loop, then you're gonna like go too far by one, and then you're trying to debug. I mean, I know that stuff, but okay. Well, I had fun. I appreciate it. I'm a little humbled. I don't know. Kind of
Not.
so.
Oh, you did fine. You did fine, man. So,
Yeah. working on a project at work that like everyone's impressed with, and I'm like, oh god, don't look at the source code. So.
All right.
He said, "Don't diss my minify technique." But okay. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, have a good night, man.
Yeah, it was fun. Thank you.
Take care.
Good night too. Bye, everybody.
Get some music going.
So many questions lined the way. I wonder will I find a way.
Hey, Chris, you want to pair, man? All right, Chris, go ahead and PM me and get her your email, and I will add you to my screen hero. Yeah, we can do it another night, sure. Both, Ryan. We can do Coderbyte and a live stream. All right. Let's get this going. Hey, you there, man?
Hello?
Yeah,
Can
right.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. Let me pause Spotify, and if you want to share your screen with me, we'll get started.
All right.
All right. Bring this over here. The song is that's what song was playing, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, that's what was playing. So, all right, that's right. We're in medium challenges here. Sweet.
Okay. I thought we already did Arithmetic GO2.
Yeah, maybe it didn't save. Both Arith GO2 and Array Edition, you could probably just copy the answers from the easy challenges. But you know what? Let's go over them since we're on a stream.
Alright.
That way, everyone, our viewers can benefit. Swedish is not easy. All right. Look at this. Look at this. All right. Let's see if I can zoom in my screen. I can't. I don't know how to zoom this in. But all right. It is. That is the name of the artist. All right. Schlagschmeckskluben is what that looks like to me. All right. That's like the safe word for violent activities.
Huh.
All right. Okay, so again, okay, I want to explain it to you, but to the people watching the stream. So the problem says that using the JavaScript language, have the function arithgo2 take the array of numbers stored in an array and return the string arithmetic if the sequence follows an arithmetic pattern, or geometric if it follows a geometric pattern. Yeah, Exoplague got my reference to Eurotrip. And if it doesn't follow either pattern, then return -1. Now, there's a pretty simple. Can you zoom in your screen? It should be Control plus, yeah, and zoom in one more level. That way we make it nice and big for everyone. All right. So there's a pretty simple way to deduce if something is arithmetic or geometric. So if it's arithmetic, right, and we have the range 2, 4, 6, 8, right? So we have 2, 4, 6, 8. If it's arithmetic, then 8 minus 6 is going to equal 6 minus 4, and so on and so forth. And that gives you the difference between the two. Or 4 minus 2 is going to be equal to 6 minus 4, so on and so on. If it's geometric, it's going to be the same thing, but instead of subtracting, you're going to use division. So for this one up here, for this range, it would be 6 divided by 2 will equal the same as 18 divided by 6. So using that, we can write a pretty simple test. Do you want to go ahead and do the honors? Do you remember what we did?
Vaguely.
Alright, so the var arithmetic array, and the geometric array. All right, and then the for loop going over it.
Okay. And I believe we were comparing each element with the one next to it. So
Yep. Yeah, and since we're going to be looking ahead in the array by one element, we need to make sure that our iterator stops at one less than the array length. So, well, it'll be two less because we're starting at 0, but still. Okay, so do you remember the logic on it?
Yep. Okay. If
Just
Yeah.
push the value.
right.
No,
Yeah.
no if.
Oops.
So arithmetic.push.
Arithmetic dot push ri
+1 minus
plus 1.
yeah minus I, array I. There you go. And then geometric is
Division.
division. There you go. And then so we've pushed all of the differences between the elements into the arithmetic array and the geometric array. So if the differences are the same, which means if they all contain the same value, then that's the pattern it matched, or it didn't match any pattern. So to compare them, we can just write a simple function to compare all the elements.
I believed we used was it every, or did we use a reduce?
I don't think we used any. We did a separate function down here and called it like subset.
Okay.
And then we need a comparator, something to compare it to. So you can just use the first value in each array, or in the array.
Okay. Var pair value equals AR0
And then, yeah, compare.
Oop. for if ARI does not equal compare value. It's very important to use 2 equal signs with the not equal or 3 equal signs for equality in JavaScript,
Indeed.
because otherwise it'll type convert. I ran into some problems with that in the past. It's always use 3 symbols in your comparing when you're comparing for equality.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier in the stream. Always be explicit with conversions instead of implicitly relying on the language to do it.
So we can change this
Yep.
subset arithmetic geomet subs. I really don't like these Boolean functions. I usually use like is subset
Oh, well then go for it.
just so that it's easier to
Yeah.
it's more human readable.
I just named it subset because this in computer programming this is actually the subset sum problem. I think I pointed it out to you on Wikipedia. So and the method, or no, this isn't the subset. Sorry. Yeah, we could name this anything we want. I'm already thinking to the next challenge.
So do you want to explain what I just did, or do you want me to do it?
Yeah. So this right here, for any of the new code campers watching, this is the ternary function. All right. And what this is a really shorthand way of writing an if-else statement, and it's perfect for if you're going to compare something, but you're gonna make an assignment based on that comparison, without really performing any other logic in there. Like if you were watching earlier when we were doing the character transformation with the previous guy, then there you still want to use if else. But here, because it's just simple, it'd be if it is, then return this. If not, then do something else. We use the ternary, and what this is saying is return. If this is true, then arithmetic. Otherwise, and we're chaining here, so if this is true, then return geometric. Otherwise, return false. So this is like an if else with the three. So
we want to go ahead and we can start putting in test values for this.
yeah, we probably could
Okay.
see
So,
if we're. Did you return true at the bottom of the? Yeah. Okay. Good.
okay, so this should return 5 for 5, 10, and 15. The expected output is arithmetic, and that's what we get.
Yep.
We should get -1 for 2, 4, 16, and 24 because it doesn't follow, excuse me, either an arithmetic or a geometric pattern.
Right.
That works.
And
There's
then
some test cases up here. This is a geometric example.
and it looks like overall our program works.
Yep. So all of the test cases passed.
All right. So array addition. Okay, so this is the subset sum problem. I'm gonna see if I can get any more people in because a lot of people have questions about this one. So will you pull up the subset sum problem on Wikipedia?
Is that large enough?
Yeah. Okay. We'll give it a second, see if people click the link. Okay, so the subset sum problem says it's really a problem, and for example, given the set, all these numbers, can some subset of the greater set add up to 0? And for the values they provided, the answer is yes. So this one, brute forcing this is typically not a good solution because of the runtime of it and the complexity. Substituting everything out, it balloons extremely quickly. But knowing that CoderByte doesn't provide any large arrays, we're going to go ahead and do a brute force solution that involves recursion. So yeah, let's go back and start programming.
Okay.
Do you remember how?
Yep.
Okay.
So this particular problem, we're going to take an array of numbers that's passed in an array and return true if any combination of the numbers in the array can be added up to equal the largest number in the array. Otherwise, we return false. So in this example up here, it would return true because all the numbers add up to 23, which is the largest element in the array. And we're gonna solve this in a recursive fashion here. So we need to check our base cases. That's very important that you do this early on in recursion, because otherwise this will execute indefinitely and your computer will run out of memory.
Well, I think we're going to need another function to actually perform the recursion in, because first we're going to need to get the largest element of the array out.
That's true.
Now
Function.
we could do it in there, because you could just do array, comma largest. You could change the method signature, because in JavaScript, if you pass in extra arguments to a method or a function, it just doesn't even bother with them.
This could contain negative numbers. Should we use number negative infinity?
Well, no,
Or is there...
because largest number is we're going to determine the largest number right after this, right? So
Right, but if we encountered a negative 1, like in this example, that's not larger than 0.
right. But so what I would do is write an if. So if largest number, then perform some kind of calculation, right, to get your largest number. Otherwise, go on and move on. Which is why I also kind of like doing this in two functions, because you're separating concerns at that point.
Okay. Get rid of all this.
Right, and now since we're going to do it in another function, we can just leave the original signature the same. We can get rid of that largest number and this, and we can just we can calculate a largest number and then call a recursive function down below.
Okay. Var largest number.
I wouldn't do 0. I mean, you can
or
do
actually,
it.
we
Yeah.
do a reduce though.
Well, I wouldn't reduce it, because so
Is that going to modify the original array?
you know, I'm not sure if it will. Let's take a look at the MDN. But personally, what I would do is I would sort it and then pop the last element off, because that way I'm modifying my array anyway, which I need to do, because I need to pull the largest element out, and then so sorting it is just a byproduct. They could come in any order to the recursive function, it won't matter, but we do need to remove that last element. So yeah, and then our recursive function here. All right.
Okay. I believe, weren't we popping numbers off each time and stopping the recursion when the length hit 0?
Yeah.
That seems like a logical way to do it.
Right. And just in case people are wondering, so you go ahead and write out the base case. So what he's doing right now is he's defining the base case. Whenever you do a recursive function, you want to really define when should this recursive function stop. Like I don't want it to run anymore. So that's what he's doing with array.length equals 0. And the array.length equals 0, you may wonder why it's like that. It's because we're going to pull elements out of the array. And we're actually going to subtract those elements from largest number. Some people are thrown off because it says, well, they have to add up to it. Well, okay, if you start with 0 and you add, say, 9 and 1, you're going to equal 10. If you start at 10 and you subtract 9 and 1, you're going to equal 0. So if you're checking for 0 or you're checking for some sum of numbers, if they add up to your target number, it's essentially the inverse of each other. And by subtracting each element off of largest number, you save yourself having to store an additional data structure.
Yep. Actually, I'm going to do that up here. Largest number.
No. Okay, so what I would do here, right, is we know how we want it to end, right? So we can just return our case, right? So now we're gonna define our base case all the way, and the base case the base case is array.length equals 0, and then we're just going to return this largest number equals triple equals 0. So this is going to evaluate to a Boolean, true or false. All right, so that's it. Now we need to perform the actual meat and potatoes of the recursive function. So the first thing we do is we'd say var, let's say we'll call it possible. All right, equals array, and we'll just call it the first element in the array, right? And then array equals array.slice 1, and what that does is it slices the array starting at index 1 to the end. So remember, arrays start from 0, so if we did slice 0, it would give us the whole array. Slice 1 gives us everything but everything in the 0 index. And then down here is where we would call our recursive. We would call our own function. So in the return here, right, we need to, on one side, test our value. So, and then on the other side, look and see what would happen if we don't, and you use really long names for everything. So on this side, we are subtracting the element from largest number. On this side, we are not subtracting the element from largest number. So each time this function goes through, and you know what, can I just I'm gonna rename some stuff real quick. Because really what this is the target, right? So, and yeah. There we go. Okay. So, target. Okay. That's a little better. So, alright, so the way this is going to work, and let's go ahead and conceptualize what would happen if we passed in the array 1, 2, 3, and let's say 5. Alright. And 5 is our largest. So, the first time this comes in, the array has elements 1, 2, and 3, and target is now 5. So array.length is not equal to 0, so it doesn't bother with this. It goes down into the else. All right. Very possible is array 0, which is 1, and then we call array.slice1, so that removes 1 from the array permanently. All right. So we're left with 2 and 3. On this left side, we are calling our own function recursively, all right, with an array, and the array contains 2 and 3, and target minus possible is 5 minus 1, so this is going to equal 4 when it calls it. So it's 2 and 3 and 4. On this side, it's going to spawn a whole new execution chain, and it's going to it's going to pass the array 2 and 3 and target, but target isn't being modified at all. So the value is still 5. Alright, and it's going to keep doing this every time it comes through. So 1 becomes 2, those 2 become 4, those 4 become 16, so on and so forth. Or 8, yeah. It doubles every time. It gets pretty ridiculous, which is why a brute force solution isn't a very good idea. But because anything over 15 elements will actually crash your browser, I'm pretty sure. But let's go ahead and test and see if it works.
Okay.
So you could actually run that to get a false value.
Yep, so all of the test cases passed.
Right. So let me make sure. Does anyone have any questions? The best part about that is they're going to hear me ask that like 10 seconds after I've typed it. And 15-second rule says nobody has any questions on recursion, so let's go. Submit code and move on. I'm going to go get something to drink real quick if you want to start hammering away at the next challenge.
Okay. Oops. Binary converter. Okay, so this is going to return the decimal form of the binary value. I guess my first thought on solving this would be to convert the binary value into an array and reverse it and iterate over it. Each element, if it's equal to 1, then we add a power of 2, and we increment the exponent that we're raising it to, starting at 1, because in a binary number, first number starting at the right is 2 to the power of 0, which is 1. This is set to 1, so this would be, if it were just 0, 0, 0, 1, it would just be 1. And if this were flipped to 1, it would be 2, and so on and so forth. So I would have something like binary digits. We'll just keep the short name as digits. Close str, that's split. Verse var exponent equals 0.
Are you rewriting the library function?
A library function?
Yeah.
I was talking about iterating over this and adding a power of 2 for each of these that are 1, unless there's a built-in JavaScript function that would do all of this for us.
So what would happen if we returned like 5.toString 2? It's been a while since I used this method, but no, okay, illegal. There is actually a very shorthand method to do this. Let's go look at the MDN. And pretty sure it's a string. I think we're looking for toString.
Right here.
Let's see.
Are you
Alright.
sure that this takes parameters?
I'm gonna use this for a second. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. So we need to the next thing we want to do is Java parsint. By the way, guys, when you're searching functions, don't go to W3 Schools. Like, they give you decent, they don't give you as good descriptions as the MDN does. See, the number parsint method parses a string argument, and this is ECMA6, so that may not be the one we want. There's another one that's a parsint. MDN, string radix. So, what would happen if we returned, let's see. What is it? Is it just parsint?
String.
Yep. Not a number? Are we doing something? Oh, because argument goes here. Probably can't evaluate to a number no matter what you do. let's test 0, 1, 1.
Cool.
That looks like a,
I did not know you could do that with parse in.
yeah, I'd played with it earlier, because you can also do toString on like a number object, and you can get it to, you can actually convert its base. It's pretty neat.
So I'm not too familiar with. So radix just specifies the base of the numbering system then?
That's what radix means. Yeah.
Okay. All
So if you hear radix, you'll sometimes hear people in programming talk in radix 2, radix 8, radix 10, and radix 16.
Okay.
And
I've always heard base 2, base 8.
yeah,
base
it's the same thing. That's why I say you'll sometimes hear people talk about it. But yeah, that's radix means base.
Okay. That's handy to know. Did we get questions from anyone?
It doesn't look like it. Let's see if they like that. Let's submit it.
Okay.
What means base? Not sure I'm hearing. So if you hear the word radix, go open the MDN again. The parse it right there. That word right there that he has highlighted, radix, that means base. So base 2, base 8, base 10, base 16, common numbered formats in programming. That radix means base. That's what it means.
I swear these challenges are repeating.
They are. So we can, and then the Caesar cipher. Yeah, neat.
You want to do this one instead?
We can do both. Let's do the Caesar cipher first, because this is going to require a different way than I showed on stream earlier for the straight increment plus 1. So okay, so it takes the string and an argument, which is a number. So now we can't know anything about the arguments ahead of time. So thinking back to the earlier solution that we did with someone, we were just doing something like this. We were iterating through, and then we were using the map function, and we're basically returning string dot from char code, and then the letter char code at 0 plus 1. And then we were doing some checks to see if the letter was Z, then we were just making it A, and you know, generally simplifying it. But for this one, that method won't work because we knew we were getting 1 the last time. We don't know what number we're getting this time. So the classic Caesar cipher, and actually I think there's an answer on Wikipedia. But we'll go ahead and make one here. So do you want to start off, or do you want me to go ahead and type and explain?
If you want to go ahead and start.
Okay. So let's see. What do we know about our arguments? Punctuation, spaces, and capitalization should remain intact. So we have to maintain everything, except for the actual values. All right. So the first thing that I would do is do something like var letter case equals, and we'll make an array, and the first element in the array we'll just call a dot char code at 0. The second one will be our uppercase A and a char code at 0. Preferably not with an underscore. Alright. And then we'll just make another one called var which case. And we can leave it undefined because we're going to define it later. So now let's go down. So we can just do a simple test using some regex. So if it's not a letter, we need to actually go over our string, so we'll actually leave that there for now. So return string dot split dot map function letter. Okay. Now we have something to test it against. So if it's not a letter, or if letter isn't A through Z or capital A through Z, then we'll just return the letter. Oh, and I didn't close my conditional.
We gotta add capital A through Z to our regex.
No, we don't. Not with the I. The I means ignore case.
Oh, yep. Didn't see that.
So we have that, right? And then we can do some simple modulo operation to keep it within range. So if you're trying to keep a number within a range, or if the easiest way to do it is determine the length of your range and use that as your modulo. So we want the letters to equal, for A to equal 0 and Z to equal 25. That gives us a range of length 26. So we're going to use modulo 26. That'll make sure anything, if it's 25 plus 1, it wraps back around to 0 and becomes A. So Z would become A, you know, and if for a plus 1, if it was plus 5, it would wrap around and become, D? So, so now, we know that we should be operating on only the letters themselves. So, if A to Z dot test letter and else, and I'll let you fill those out.
Is it char code?
Yeah, it's char code at
0?
Yeah, 0 because we only have one element. Now, remember, before you modulo 26, you're going to need to put the range, or subtract it so the letter is in the correct range.
So it's going to be subtracting it from this.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Now, yeah. So just as a matter of style, this is why I did the which case. So, and actually we could do this as a ternary. So you could do something like this: which case equals A to Z, right? Close that out. Dot test letter. Then it's uppercase, so it'd be 1, otherwise 0. And now you can just do a, you can get rid of the if else here and just return the but now remember, we want to add the number to rotate it. Do it before your modulo, because adding is going to affect it, and then we still want to keep it within our range, right?
Yep.
And then
Should probably put these in parentheses, because isn't it going to evaluate modulo 26 first?
I think addition and modulo are the same order of precedence, so I think it would evaluate left to right in this situation. But I do agree, it's always better to use parentheses to highlight what you're intending for, which operation you want to happen first. And then we're missing one other thing. Well, we're missing two things, but the one. So go ahead and run that and see what it does with the.
First, we need to get this back into a string. We need to return these to their original Unicode values and then join them as a string.
Right. So there's a string method itself that will create you a new string, and it is called. Looks like I moved it. So okay, so you're joining it. That's good. So you can join it. All right. So up here, there's a method called string from char code. All right, and then we'll open that, and we will close it back there. Yep. Well, that's not at all what we wanted, right? So we're missing one other key step in this. So we subtracted letter case to drop it down so that either way it would be from 0 to 25. Now we need to add that back in. And remember, we need to use our which case in here now. So at the end of this, add your, well, it needs to be inside the string from, yeah. So add letter case, which case back in. Does it make sense to you why we have to add it back in?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just putting a parenthesis there. So segregate those. Yeah.
All right. So before you submit that, let me take questions from Twitch. I'm just asking chat right now what they want me to explain a little more in depth.
Now, I haven't actually used the map function before. That's just building a new array, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, map builds a new array. It won't modify your original array. Okay. People seem to be okay in chat, so you can probably submit that and go on.
Okay. And one thing that we've noticed on CoderByte is sometimes when you click Next Challenge, it skips to different areas in the challenges.
Oh yeah,
So-
it takes me into the hard challenges.
Want to do letter count next, or?
Yeah, let's do letter count.
Okay.
Alright, so it says, using the JavaScript language, have the function letter count take the string parameter being passed and return the first word with the greatest number of repeated letters. For example, today is the greatest day. I return greatest because it has 2 E's. And it comes before ever, which also has 2 E's. If there are no words with repeating letters, return -1. Words will be separated by spaces. So that words will be separated by spaces is pretty key. That if you know something about the format of the data you're going to receive, then you can manipulate it based off that format. So the first thing that we should probably do is break the whole sentence up into its individual words. And we're using a space as an argument to split instead of the empty string because we want it to separate on spaces.
And then I believe our next step would be to go ahead and sort these by length, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no, we don't need to sort them by length because we're just sorting based on repeated characters, right? So the length of the word should have nothing to do with, I mean, you know, the letter I has 2 repeating characters and has more repeating characters than what words does. So we need to go through and tally up the number of repeated characters, right?
Yep. I'm just trying to think of a JavaScript function that would do that so we wouldn't have to write a for loop.
Well, so how could we tell? I mean, any JavaScript function is going to really just give us a loop of some sort, but it's going to be the callback function we provide to it that's going to do the work, right?
Right. So would this be another application of the map function? So like if we compare each element to, well, if we use the map, we can't compare it to the next element though, right?
Yeah, because map gives you the current one.
So I thought we ran into a problem similar to this the last time. We were looking for a function that was similar to map that took.
Yeah, but we couldn't find one.
Yeah.
Right. So, do you remember our solution from last time?
No, I don't remember exactly what we did.
So we used the we abused reduce.
Reduce. Okay.
And then we need to go through and we need to first look at the value of each letter, right? Do you want me to type?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
gonna start
yeah,
out
I'm
for-
kind of waiting. I'm kind of waiting for you. So go ahead.
So, all right. For were we going to use reduce on the words array? I thought we were going to use it on each individual. Words I. Was it something like this? This doesn't look right to me.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that. So, remember we created another array to hold values?
Characters. Okay.
Well, I don't. What are you doing a comparison, or what are you doing a conditional check against? So, because really, okay, think about what data we have. We have letters, and we have really not a whole lot else yet. So we need to give ourselves more data.
Right. I was going to start another loop inside of here and iterate over the letters in the current word.
Okay. I don't know. You can. I don't. I don't think we need to do that, but go for it.
Okay. Just trying to make this a little more readable.
Yeah. No worries.
If word okay, I think this is actually going to be this is going to need to be moved into here, right?
Well, I'm kind of not tracking where you're going, because okay, so my idea on this is create the array with the words, how many ever words there are, right? And then create basically an array of an arrays where each array contains an array of all its letters, right? Once you have that, then you can iterate through comparing the letters, and if the one is equal to the next, if the first letter is equal to the next letter, then you have a repeated letter. And the only way that works is if you sort them.
Yeah, I feel like we don't even need a second array here. We really only care about which one of these specific words has the largest number of repeating characters. I mean, it seems like we just have an integer value here, one for the index and one for the largest count.
Right.
Um,
So scroll up just a second so that I can see the top. Okay.
I was thinking var largest index var highest count, like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end here, at the bottom, ultimately we're going to be returning words largest index. And instead of using arrays, we're going to have var count 0, count plus plus, and then once we complete this inner loop, after we iterate over the characters, if count is greater than highest count, count, oops, did I do here? Largest index equals I.
Okay.
We still have to account for the -1. So if highest count is 0, it's greater than 0, we return this, otherwise -1.
Okay. Are there any more test cases we can?
Okay, so this is returning -1.
So, right, there's one thing you need to do first before you compare the letters. All right, why does hello return? Do you think? Like, do you notice a pattern in the word?
Oh yeah, the L's are together. We need to sort the characters in these words.
Good. That's why I was saying we to.
'Cause I'm only doing this adjacently.
Yeah. Now you could do it. You could do it to where you could split that and then sort it. But then remember, okay, so there you go, yeah, because you're using. Yep. And you can sort. You can use sort without one because it's going to sort them in lexicographic order. So good.
Cool. So that works. I wouldn't expect this to change, but
Well, we'd hope not. So there we go.
so that was kind of my thought process. Did you have maybe a less complex?
No, actually, what I was going to do is just put another array up here, but you're creating it on the fly. I was just gonna make another array that contained subarrays of each word.
Okay,
So, good solution.
thanks. I mean, I guess kind of the strategy that I was going for is like trying to keep this as simple as possible. Like at first I was thinking about pushing characters onto an array, but reading over the problem again, we really don't care about the letters themselves. We only care about the counts. So I just went with integers.
Yeah, that's fine. And now, if we did have to keep track of what letter it was, honestly, the easiest way I see doing that would be an object. So, but is there a way that we can make this. Oh, you know what? No, we can't. So NetGen CEO, unfortunately, because of the way CoderByte is, they only give you a certain amount of space. I don't know. We could try zooming out maybe, but you can see it's still. They only allowed a certain amount of pixels, and then you have to scroll in it. I'm sorry.
Was somebody not able to see all of our code?
They said it's a little hard to follow when you scroll up and down. Can you open it up so the whole code block is visible at once? You know what we can do though, is we can do some Control A, Control C action, and do you have what do you got? What do you got on your computer? Let's see. You got Windows 8. That's what you got.
Did you want me to open a certain program?
Do you have like TextMate or something?
Microsoft Word?
Do you have TextMate or something?
TextMate? I don't have a TextMate. Is that a Mac app? I got
Oh
Microsoft
crap!
Word.
It might be a Mac app. Do you have Notepad++?
Yeah.
Okay. So and then we'll paste this, just so he can.
I've still got this in my clipboard.
I know I copied it. It's on my clipboard. There. And the language, we'll just call that JavaScript.
Let me change this to a darker.
Monakai or something. Or Solarized is a good one. Solarized is awesome. Yeah. And then, well, Solarized doesn't come out very well on yours. All right. So there's the solution code block. So taking the word or splitting the string on its spaces to get the words, setting up some counter variables, and then looping through, breaking each word up into its constituent letters, and then just comparing each letter against the next letter. And it's imperative that we sort on that so we know that the same letters are going to be right next to each other. And then it's a matter of doing some logic to see if we have a next highest count, assigning that, and then at the end we'll just return it. If it's greater than 0, otherwise it didn't have any repeating letters, and returning -1 as this spec says. So that's a solution right there.